Hello, Ben.
Hello.
We're in space.
Are we indeed?
We
What
are
did we do
indeed.
to deserve this?
We got into debt because we took a job. For those of you
Right.
who don't know, we're playing Hardspace Shipbreaker. And what we
Wow.
do in this game is we take spaceships apart. And sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's hard. Ben, there are 13 ships here. The number 1 is for quickest, number 13 is for longest. I'd like you to pick a number.
Scroll through them slowly, please.
Okay, we'll go from the start.
I feel like 1970s music should be playing. It's a generation game. A brand new tease made.
A speedboat.
A set of encyclopedias.
Rachel under danger.
What?
I don't know. It's just a name. I don't even know if it's a real name.
Alright, so out of 13,
Out of 13.
I choose 7.
Right.
No, I don't, I choose 8. I choose 8.
Okay. 1, 2,
8.
3. Hang on, I've lost count. 1, 2, 3,
Three.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Javelin, heavy cargo.
Looks like a choo-choo train.
Just a little bit. So we are going to, although I am going to dismantle this, whilst you talk and I talk.
Right. And is that the gist of the game? Is just destroying
Well,
or
I mean,
dismantling?
dismantling and putting the various parts in the appropriate locations.
Right.
The bits that
I
can
have
be
to say-
recycled in the recycling place, the bit that needs to be burned in the burning place, and the bit that can be repurposed into a repurposing place.
I have to say, it sounds an awful lot like a certain cleaning game.
It's different.
Okay.
So this thing, this antenna, needs to go in the barge.
Right.
Oh, so I'm going to put it in the barge.
Ollie,
down
we're a
there.
long way away. Whoa.
And now, you see that little bit of bar that we've got that's filled up? At the top?
That's how close you are to finishing.
That's how much we've done of the job. So we can now start talking. It was also got a timer there, so you don't need to ask how long we've been going. Because it'll be that plus a minute or two.
Yes. Well, oh gosh, I imagine this is probably quite therapeutic.
Yes, I thoroughly enjoyed playing through the campaign. I recommended you play it.
There's a campaign.
Yes, there's a campaign. I recommended you play it at some point, and you were like, no, it doesn't sound like my kind of thing. I had a free Steam key for it and everything. You could have had it for nothing, but you didn't want it, so.
I mean, I think it looks well, I say interesting. I think it looks therapeutic, but it's
This is what got me back into listening to audiobooks.
that'll do it.
So
It's like the sort of game you can just sort of shut off and have something else on.
yeah, and I've never done that before with video games. I mean, this game came along.
That's interesting. Those are my favourite sorts of video games.
Oh, well, again, I would have told you all this back when I suggested you maybe play it sometime. But like I say, you weren't interested. So the key went to someone else.
Hey ho.
Such is life.
Did your partner enjoy her Christmas present? I never asked.
Present, and yes.
Good.
And as I did mine.
Okay.
So, yes.
Good.
And not a single dirty thing was done. Because I know you have an assumption that when I say things like that, I'm being smutty, but I wasn't.
Yes, okay.
You do assume.
I did, yes. That was my first thought.
You assumed I'd done something inappropriate and dirty, and that's why I was saying it in the way that I said it. But no.
Yeah.
In reality, I was just.
I did. He's right.
Yeah.
He's right.
Yeah,
Listeners, I did.
I know what you're like. You're a
You like
bastard
it
when
when
it
you
comes
did.
to me. Anyway, do you want to find a topic? Because you have so many, it seems.
Well, seeing as this is going out on New Year's Eve, I thought it a prudent time to look back on the year. And there's a few things, but did you want to discuss maybe our own personal things that happened this year? I dare say there won't be anything significant for you, because
Probably
no,
not.
there might be. I think you'll probably go, oh no, it doesn't really happen, really.
I've got the same job I had. I've got the same building I live in. I've got the same relationship I was in. I mean,
Right,
you know,
business as usual.
business as usual. Because between you and me, I don't do an awful lot in my life.
Well, there you go. I went to the Maldives.
Yeah, you wouldn't fucking shut up about it at the time either.
I did.
Well, only when you weren't here to talk to me.
Because I was in the Maldives.
Yeah, because you're in the Maldives, which is something that you fucking told me so many fucking times.
Yeah, I did that, and I'm still getting all right work, and the YouTube channel's doing well. You've got your new projects you're working on, and so that's all good. I did throw together a list of the biggest news stories. I think all of which we spoke about.
Probably. Because we do talk about the news quite an awful lot for people who don't. For someone who A, doesn't watch it, and B, who knows that you don't watch it. In fact, some of the topics I have tonight, other than this one.
I think I could guess one of them.
Okay. Well, I don't want to. Let's not, because we'll come to it.
So one thing a year is quite a long time, really, isn't it? You sort of
no shit, Sherlock. Sorry.
Fuck you. You sort of forget what happened at the start of it. And it surprised me just a little bit that, Spare came out towards the beginning of the year.
Yes, it did.
That was this year.
It's the last thing you wrote about.
Yeah, I wrote a review on it, and I got some arsey comments from wanky monarchists.
Well, of any other kind of monarchists?
Oh, don't get me fucking started. I saw there was a couple of wanky monarchy news pieces. I saw this quite recently. One of them was it wasn't really a monarchy thing; it was more of an aristocracy thing. But there was a Boxing Day hunt, and all the townsfolk lined up to cheer them. I thought, look at all these fucking oiks cheering on their betters.
Betters by whose standards?
By their own, no doubt.
Bastards.
On some level.
Fucking glass straighters.
I know, I just thought...
I don't care about what they believe in, to be honest with you.
Well,
I'd rather they didn't kill foxes. I quite like foxes.
Well, I think they're arseholes. It doesn't... I've been on a real misanthropic, bent lately, and that doesn't help. But I also saw something where Prince George, Prince George.
I'm aware of Prince George.
He looks a little brat. But all I can see is he was taking part in one of those walk and talk, meet and greet things, and some member of the public shook his hand and did a little bow. I thought, fucking hell. It's disgusting how eager some people are to be subservient to others, isn't it?
Yeah. Some people just like to lick the boot, as I believe the phrase goes.
Spare came out earlier this year, and I'm surprised. It was very well selling, but I'm very surprised that it's not been talked more about in the historical context as it's not exactly a tell-all biography, but it's certainly to some extent a biography or an account of life behind the scenes of the royal family. I'm not sure we've ever gotten that.
No, and you mentioned as such back at the time.
Yeah.
See, I do listen.
I mean,
I remember.
I'll be honest. A lot of these recap years are just going to be going over stuff I've already said.
This is going to be a really dull night for me, but great for everyone else. Because I listen to what you say.
Well, that's good.
I make a point of listening to what you say, because otherwise I can't lord it over you when you don't listen to anything I've fucking said.
You back at work yet?
Go fuck yourself. With what was it? A rusty dildo, I think was the phrase I used before. Will be using in the next video, but hasn't been released yet.
Stop predicting the future, goddammit.
Well, I'm gonna actually. I have something in my topic list about predicting the future, so I look forward to that one. Well, when it happens in the future, as I'm predicting it.
Yes, the next news story is also a monarchy one. We had the coronation of Charles and Camilla.
It's quite a few months difference between those two.
Yes.
About 4 months, I would say.
I'll be honest. Basically, all of this, it's not necessarily in order. It's just things that struck me as.
God, you're just like Fallout Boy.
Yes, basically. Yes, I could make a terrible We Didn't Start the Fire remix about this. Probably. Gosh, I probably could.
No. I'll lose even more respect for you than I already have.
Oh, come on. At a certain point, does it matter? What's half of 1%?
Half of 1%?
Yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. At a certain point, it's like, even if you lost, 80% of your respect for me, practical terms, there's not much gone, is there? Really?
Well, I mean, you'd be amazed how much I respect you in the grand scheme of things.
Well, that's
There's a reason we still
nice.
do this, Ben.
Yeah.
There's not many
Yes.
people who I let dictate my weekly schedule. Let's just put that into mind, because I mean, you're a major part of my weekly schedule, and you are one
Yes,
of
I
two.
am.
You are one of 2 people who is a major part of my weekly schedule. So,
Yeah, and the other one's putting out.
I know. You don't want to
I
know
don't
what
think
I
I
could be
do
doing.
that.
Right? You don't want to know what I could be doing right now.
Oh, I don't think I have the imagination. Like, I'm pretty sure
You
I
really don't.
Anywho,
Anywho,
Charles and Camilla, speaking of unsightly things, were coronated or crowned.
hang on a minute.
What?
That's a very mean thing you just said about me, man.
Once? Well, I'm not you.
So you're calling my partner unsightly?
No.
That's even worse! Oh,
sure
you are a bastard.
I'm sure you both look absolutely splendid.
We're a delightful couple. In fact, actually, I'm going to say it now, we've nearly been together 5 years, you know.
Jeez Louise, that's
I
an
know,
awfully long time.
that is, isn't it?
Christ. God, it goes quick, doesn't it?
It does.
I'll be dead before you know it.
Here's hoping.
Fucking hell. Yes, for
Anyway.
the third and hopefully final time, Charles and Camilla had their coronation. And remember there was much talk at the time about you were swearing allegiance.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Yeah, and a lot of outpouring. People saying not my king, etc., etc. But one of the things that continues to strike me, really about the death of the Queen in general, which was the year before. For ages, people have been saying, "Oh, well, we can't fully appreciate how it will feel when the Queen dies. Even if you don't support the monarchy, you will feel a genuine sense of loss." And I don't think many people did.
No. I think I was meant to be this big old deal about it, and actually I didn't give that many shits at all.
I was expecting to feel more like, holy shit, the Queen's dead. This thing that's been there for like the fucking Eye of Sauron has been destroyed. But
yeah,
no.
I completely agree and understand exactly what you're saying there. I feel like I should care a lot more than I do.
Yeah, I don't think she really didn't accomplish much, did she?
Yeah, I mean, who does?
Might be the fucking Queen of England. There's not much of a real legacy there. I don't think.
Just to for the viewer who is the one viewer who is watching this and gives a shit about what I'm doing. I've pumped the fuel out of the fuel tank and all the pipes so that I can disassemble the fuel tank assembly, which is this entire area. Otherwise, it would blow up.
Well, you'd better do it safely.
That's what I've done.
I am actually genuinely watching it.
Oh, really? For one fucking video? And it's the game that you said you wouldn't play?
Well, I watched a good bit of Shadow of the Doubt too. I think you think I watch less of this stuff than...
you definitely seem like you watch less because of all the stuff that you say. Oh, I'm just looking at Twitter. And,
I drift off from time to time. I wouldn't begrudge you doing the same.
Do you know when I stop paying attention? The only times I stop paying attention are when I'm making a point of looking something for us.
Well, that's nice.
Like, not as part of a topic, like a new topic, but as part of a topic we're already on, I'll check something to do with it.
Well, yes, I appreciate that. You do seem genuinely invested, and I am indeed watching this as we speak. Now,
okay. Well, if you want, we could do all 13 ships. Not tonight.
The next thing on my list. This was. I think perhaps everybody thought this was quite a big news story, even though it was somewhat of a sad one. That BBC presenter, what got implicated in sending.
Oh, Hugh
messages.
Edwards.
Yeah, poor old Hugh. That was a big story this year, wasn't it?
That was a big story. No one seems to give a shit anymore.
Yeah, I don't know why. Well, I like Hugh Edwards. I don't know what the crime was. We talked a lot about it during the Blazing Emerald playthrough.
Oh, was that what you were doing at the time?
Yeah, I remember it because I was fighting Winona. He traumatized me as a child. That was a pretty big story because Hugh Edwards being what he was, the safe pair of hands of the BBC, death of the Queen, various other things, big name, big figure. Not talked about too much these days. I hope Hugh sort of disappears into retirement, gets whatever help he needs, and yeah, I don't know. There was probably some moral iffiness going on there. Probably should be looked into. Speaking of disgraced television presenters, old Phil Schofield.
Yes.
Do you remember him?
Yes, I'm familiar with Philip Schofield.
Do you remember what he did?
Did he flirt with or have a inappropriate relationship with someone that he worked with? Was that an issue? I mean, we've all wanted to date someone we've worked with, haven't we?
Well, yeah, but not some twink.
Well, I mean, speak for yourself. No, actually, there is no twink at where I work. But if there were, I can't promise that I wouldn't be interested.
Not some teenager twink when you're in your 50s.
Well, no, age differences. Age differences and power dynamics are problematic. Yes.
Yeah.
I understand that is a thing. And I'm merely pointing out that office workplaces, workplace romances aren't necessarily meant to be taboo.
Your Honour. Yes, fair enough.
I mean, let's be honest. One of the big romantic. I don't know what button I need to press.
They're gonna blow up.
There we go.
Whoa.
Cool. Yeah, I've blown some stuff up. One of the big romances of the early 2000s was Tim and Dawn from The Office,
yes.
And that was a workplace romance. And so if we're opposed to workplace romances, we need to take a good hard look at ourselves, Britain.
Well, I'm not opposed to workplace romances. That was a rather passionate defence of Philip Schofield there.
Whilst I absolutely, wholeheartedly agree with what he did probably shouldn't have happened, I also think that perhaps we need to cut him a bit of slack. Maybe it's not a big deal, but we all made it out to be at the time.
Well, I don't really know what went on, but he did an interview where he was vaping. It's a bit weird. But he was stressed, no doubt, and he basically made the point that if he was straight, this wouldn't be as much of an issue.
It absolutely wouldn't be.
I think he's right there. Well, I think the words he used was, "If I was straight, there wouldn't be a problem," which I'm not sure is entirely true, but I certainly think it's. Yeah, I think there'd be people who are attacking him now who would be defending him if it was a straight relationship with a lady.
And because I'm not a hypocrite, I'm somewhat defending him in both cases.
I don't really approve of age gap romances. I don't think it's...
Okay, what point does it become appropriate as far as you're concerned? When does it start to be a problem?
I don't know, I'm still sort of sussing that out, but,
Well, that's the thing, unless you know, I don't really think you can...
And I mean, it depends on the people as well, doesn't it? But even so, I do think...
I think
difficult to...
I think a person should know where the line is, as far as they're concerned, before they start critiquing someone else's line. That's all I'm going to say on that.
I was just mentioning it. I'm not critiquing.
No. That's my.
All right. I was merely voicing an opinion on the matter.
Okay.
Okay. Right.
Well, don't.
Well, speaking of, I can't find a good segue that isn't horribly offensive. You about that nurse what murdered them babies?
Yeah, let me.
Yes, he's also on this list of noteworthy news stories of the year. Noteworthy in part for how little people seem to care on the whole. It wasn't such a groundbreaking big news story that it was talked about for months and months and months and whatever. Certainly noteworthy, but it's one of those moments that really sort of demonstrates we sort of blew our load on serial killers, didn't we?
Yeah, I'd say so.
We've so oversaturated. We're not particularly interested. We're interested in the historical stuff, in the oldie true crime, but on the whole, I don't think society is. I think serial killers have had their day.
Well, they say the golden age of a serial killer was the 70s, don't they?
I mean, yeah, we can. I mean, I think you and I've spoken to you about my views on that a number of times, haven't I?
I think so, probably.
Yeah,
it feels vaguely familiar.
Well, I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. Basically, I don't think it was a golden age. I think there are always that number of serial killers about, and that was the beginning of the end for them in terms of the fact that we could identify them more easily, and the mass media was running stories on them constantly, and we've only gotten better. The golden age of the serial killer was basically any time throughout human history, apart from like the last 80 odd years.
Yeah, I mean, basically, before DNA, before fingerprinting, before any kind of easy identification of a human being.
Yeah, I mean...
Who was his victim? Don't know.
You were a serial killer in, 1421.
There's something I've missed. Yeah.
You could do whatever you wanted.
There's something I meant to have cut, but I've not cut. And I can't fucking see what it is.
Cut everything.
Oh, is that it? It's this one.
Looks attached.
Oh shit, I've accidentally depressurised the thing.
Oh no.
Oh well.
So we come on to my favourite news story of the year. Do you know what it is?
I mean, when was it? I might be able to guess it from that.
I think it was in June or July. I was in Northern Ireland at the time.
Okay. I don't know.
Well, I'll... what do you call 5 billionaires trapped at the bottom of the ocean?
Oh, we shouldn't. Was that really June?
A good start, yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Now this is the Titan sub implosion, where some rich people busted some other rich guy who had a flagrant disregard for safety regulations, and they went on their little submarine down to the bottom of the Titanic, the bottom of the Atlantic, to see the Titanic, and it imploded.
As these things I want to do.
Yes, and it was noted at the time that it sort of picked up on a lot of the themes present in the Titanic sinking, i.e. hubris. Stockton Rush, who was the guy who ran the company, flagrantly disregarded safety regulations almost at every turn, it seems. And, he seemed keen to take that risk in the name of progress, which I would be fine with if it was only his life he was putting at risk.
Okay, but before you were like, oh, it doesn't matter because they're all billionaires. So, you gotta...
Well, true. I think...
either their lives matter or they don't, right?
You're trying to pin me in with your clever lawyer speak.
Well, I mean, I'm just using basic logic. And if that's a problem for you, you're the problem.
Oh, I feel like I'm in a court.
Yes, as you should. Next, our surprise witness, Philip Schofield.
Oh, God.
I mean, that would be a surprise if all of a sudden Philip Schofield joined the call. I would also be surprised by this.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it would be a fairly damning indictment of how badly that scandal has destroyed his career.
If he's here doing this for free. Because I ain't paying him.
Well, I think...
Not after last time, Phil.
Yeah, I'm glad we decided not to show that video.
Yeah, me too.
He just got really mean-spirited and nasty, didn't he?
Why did he have to vape?
I don't know. He said some really mean things, actually. I didn't appreciate it.
Yeah, well, you don't appreciate a lot of things, so... Like
well,
me.
I think... Well, you don't get to be a billionaire without, screwing someone over down the line.
Hey, I'll screw whoever I need to screw to become a billionaire.
There was that guy who basically dragged his son along. It gave me flashbacks to being taken to rugby matches as a kid.
Oh yes, I'm sure you can compare rugby to death in a sub.
I just did.
Okay, well, like I said, I'm sure you can.
Well, that sort of father type. So no, I don't think we should. I don't think we should warn them too much. I think monkeys hoarding bananas. I don't think it's particularly
What,
noble
for sex?
thing to do. No, what?
No, monkeys will trade food for sexual favours.
Well, yeah, that was a study. They introduced the concept of money to Capuchin monkeys, and within an hour they'd figured out prostitution.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, monkeys hoarding bananas. What else are they hoarding it for?
I don't know.
Sex.
It's a mental illness, I guess. But yeah, that was probably my favourite news story, which probably doesn't arguably showed me in the best light that my favourite news story was 5 people dying alone.
One of which you wish hadn't been there.
Yes.
So, just bear that in mind as well.
Okay, well.
You do seem a bastard sometimes. I just want you to be 100% aware of that fact.
I know, I don't know why. I know.
Shall we go through the depressurised wall that I made, or should we go through the hatch?
Go through the wall, go through the hatch,
I need to open it first.
So the next one is quite a recent one. It's old Russell Brand.
Oh yes.
Yeah, he was sort of outed as a sex monster.
Indeed.
And it's noteworthy that there was an awful lot of talk at the time, and an awful lot of big names were mentioned as potential suspects in this. Dispatches, was it?
I think so. I didn't watch it.
The Dispatches thing. So, yeah, that was a pretty big story. Next one is the one I have the least interest in. Wilco collapsed.
Yeah, no, not interested.
No, fair enough. Rupert Murdoch retired.
About fucking time.
His son, who is an even bigger bastard, took over. I'm sure that will go well.
It won't.
Israel-Palestine.
Yes, that was a big deal. Still is.
Yes, it is. We talked about this to no end.
We even did a video specifically about it, near enough.
Yeah, I stand by everything I've said about it.
Yeah, I have no reason to change my stance.
There you go.
I'm not a complacent as a cunt. So, despite what Ben says in private, in his videos, I've heard you. I've heard your subliminal messaging. You can't prove it, but I've heard it.
Well, speaking of complete and utter cunts, old David Cameron's come back.
Yeah, he has.
My note for this is somehow David Cameron returned.
Oh, just like Palpatine.
Yes, he is now the foreign secretary.
Look at you making a Star Wars reference.
I made lots of Star Wars references.
Yeah, but you can't stand the fucking thing, so you know.
So, yeah. But the third part of this, we've had quite a few deaths this year.
Yeah, as we will continue to do because the celebrity population is dying.
Well, yeah,
they're so old.
Yeah, but we get more to fill in the gaps, don't we? So we should be all right.
Yeah, but the caliber of celebrity is considerably lower.
I mean,
new celebrities these days, they tend to be influencers and shit like that, don't they? They're not people who actually matter in any grand scheme whatsoever, no matter how much they're paying people to pretend otherwise.
I think that sort of actor, that sort of Derek Jacobi, McKellen theatre-trained actor is...
well, it's dying out.
Well, yeah, because they got rid of repertory theatre, didn't they?
And because they're all getting old. And that's what happens to old people, is they die.
You have people who go into television or talent shows or whatever straight away rather than, honing their craft. And it's very sad. So, yes, I'm on the Sky News page for this. David Crosby died in January.
I can't remember who that is.
Crosby, Stills and Nash. Yeah. See. Lisa Marie Presley.
Yep, that happened.
Yeah. She was pretty big. She was married to Michael Jackson briefly, and Nicolas Cage. Can you imagine how talented the child of Lisa Marie Presley and Michael Jackson would have been?
I mean, I don't think you should assume that talent is hereditary.
I think there's an awful lot of pedigree there. I think there are probably other things, but I
believe talent is a nurture thing rather than a nature thing.
Well, I think it's both. But I think you can have innate talent.
Well, I reckon anyone can learn how to sing.
I don't think that's true.
With the practice, well, scientists reckon that.
Well, I think it's the composition of your vocal cords, isn't it?
Yeah, but you can train them. Apparently.
I don't know. I have a hard time thinking that the grandchild of Elvis Presley and the child of Michael Jackson wouldn't be,
So,
I mean, if anybody's going to be brilliant at singing and dancing and whatnot, it's going to be them, isn't it?
Well, if they were trained in it. I just want before you go to another name of someone who's died this year. You'll notice at the top that yellow bar is still filling up. And
Yeah, you're doing all right.
there is a slight red bar, which has grown a little bit bigger.
Oh, on the other end, what is that?
That is the stuff that has been mishandled.
Right.
Sometimes it is easier to just mishandle stuff.
So if you get right to the end, and
So-
you're mostly yellow, you might say, fuck it, I'll just...
Yeah, very much.
Right.
There are times where you're just better off just saying fuck it. Like, I could, if I want, remove that light to get an extra 3,468. But for the work it's going to take me to detach it all from this 39k thing and this 19k thing, it's not worth the work. So I'm not going to do it. And a lot of this game is knowing when to do it and when not to. Because you don't have to 100% anything. You only have to put in as much work as you want to put in. Which is right up my street. Anyway, carry on. Who else died this year? Did they find Julian Sands this year? That was...
Well, that's the next name.
Oh.
Dear old Julian Sands, of whom I was very fond from his work in Jackie Chan Adventures as the villain Balmont. He went missing.
Last year, I believe.
Yeah, he went missing in January 23.
Oh, okay, I thought it was last year. But
We talked about it during the Raft videos.
Really?
Yeah, he went missing in 23. And after a while, we presumed he was dead.
And he was?
Yeah, and it was confirmed in June when his remains were discovered. So, yeah, I was very fond of Julian Sands. I enjoyed him. Yeah. February. Burt Bacharach.
Yep.
He died.
Indeed.
Raquel Welch.
Yes.
Yeah. Betty Boothroyd. First female Speaker of the House of Commons. She died.
Oh, what's happened here?
Dickie Davis. He died.
Sorry, something's got stuck. I need to work out what the fuck I'm doing to detach it.
Moving on to March. Poor Paul O'Grady. He died.
That is in March.
Yeah, I like Paul O'Grady.
I mean, I wasn't overly fussed either way about Paul. But...
Well, I did like him.
Is it getting any closer to me?
Mystic Meg died.
Didn't see that coming. Probably did, to be fair.
How many people have made that joke? She died age 80. So. Lance Reddick. He's a big person.
I can't remember who that is.
Tom Sizemore from Saving Private Ryan. Jacqueline Gold, the founder of Ann Summers. Paul Grant, who was an actor in Star Wars and Harry Potter. Chaim Topol, the guy who played lead in Fiddler of the Roof. Andrew Lloyd Webber's son. In April, I thought he died like a couple of years ago, but Barry Humphries died this year.
Yes, they did the funeral fairly recently, didn't they?
Yeah, I just thought that was a...
I thought it was odd that the funeral had taken so long.
Yeah, I thought it was a fairly long-winded, or not long-winded, like, you know, a very late memorial service, I guess.
Yeah.
Harry Belafonte died.
Yeah. I believe it's Belafonte.
Belafonte, sorry. Jerry Springer. Jerry Springer died. Do you know what city Jerry Springer was formerly mayor of?
No, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Yes, I asked you that when it happened. You know then, did you?
Hang on,
Oh, well.
hang on, fuck off.
No,
Did I or did I not
no-
say? Back in Cincinnati, same
Yes.
time you said it. Don't be giving me, oh, you didn't know. It's like, yeah, yes, I
Okay.
fucking did. I just
Yeah.
misspoke for a moment.
Well, I'm glad we cleared that up. Yeah, sort of the king of
Shit telly.
Ash talk show. But he did, you know, he's sort of important in that genre. Very important.
I suppose without him we wouldn't have that vaguely amusing scene in the Austin Powers film, would we?
Perhaps his greatest legacy.
Yeah,
Remember, kids,
that slightly
never-
amusing scene.
Remember, kids never paid for a prostitute with a check, which was his undoing. Paul Catamol from S Club 7.
Yep.
Then
I used to be a
Goodman.
massive S Club fan,
Oh.
you know.
Well, yeah, S Club were, I mean, they were huge when I was little.
Yeah,
Every disco, we had some S Club.
I had a poster. Like,
Gosh,
that's how big a fan I was. I had a poster.
I
on the
watched,
wall.
I watched their TV show.
Was Christopher Lloyd in that, or was he in the kids one? Like when it was for kids, S Club Kids or something. I feel like Christopher Lloyd was connected to one of them somehow.
I don't know,
Okay,
to be honest. Do they intentionally make songs for like children,
I don't
or
know.
do they intend to make songs for like adults and just accidentally?
I think they made songs, and it turns out kids sort of liked it.
Yeah, I mean they were
It's not like they were overly inappropriate.
they were the biggest bloody thing for our age group.
I don't know. Maybe Busted.
And the Busted came along a little later, I think. Maybe I don't know.
No, it's the same sort of time. You know who else was around that sort of time?
What?
The Baha Men.
I don't.
Who let the dogs out?
Oh, that was everywhere as well, wasn't it?
It was. That sort of turn of the century sort of music. Venga Boys were around about then as well.
What was that?
Well, they had Boom 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 Boom, I Want You in My Room.
Yeah.
And the Venga Bus song and all sorts.
All these flashbacks to primary school discos.
Yeah. DJ Otzi with Hey Baby. Do you remember that one?
Sing it.
Hey,
Yeah,
baby. Ooh. Ha!
Yes.
That one.
I'm getting flashbacks.
I wanna know.
I'm in primary school disco and I've got some money from my mum to buy sweets.
If you'll be my girl.
Oh my god. It's like I'm
Hey,
8 years old again.
Hey, baby. Ooh. Ah. Speaking of 8 years old, do you know what else came out when we were 7?
No?
The original Halo game.
All right.
The original Halo came out when we were 7 years old. How depressing is that?
Well, I never played Halo, so I don't really have any.
Well, you don't play any fucking thing, do you? So
I play lots of game. I play a few games, lots. That's sort of my.
That's your get out, isn't it? Is that you play a lot of things. So you play things for a lot of time rather than being a whore for games like I am.
Well, yeah, you suffer from commitment issues.
No, I don't suffer.
I'm very choosy.
I like to finish games.
When I find something I like, I'm with it for the long haul.
I like to finish games. The trouble is, sometimes, when it's a game that doesn't really have a finish, I prefer to just play it until I get bored. Because I think it's a very natural human reaction.
So continuing with dead people, Len Goodman died.
You said him.
Yeah, I know, and then we started talking about F Club 7. Nigel Lawson, he died. Mary Quant. Yeah. Tina Turner died in May. She was great, wasn't she?
She was simply quite good.
Golden Eye. Andy Rourke.
Oh, the wrestler?
He was the bassist for the Smiths.
Who am I thinking of then?
Don't know. Martin
Mickey
Amos
Rourke,
died.
that's who I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah, yes. Martin Amos died. The writer. Rolf Harris died.
Did he really? I forgot about that.
Terence Hardiman, who played the Demon Headmaster, he died.
Yeah, I remember that. How many more names you got on this list? Because I'm getting bored of dead people.
Well, I'm only at June. Glenda Jackson died. She was great. She was a Labour MP and I think 2 Oscar winners under her belt. Or maybe just the one, I don't know. Silvio Berlusconi died.
Yeah, he's in the Great Bunga Bunga Party in the Sky.
Yes, or down below, more likely.
Well, I mean, who am I to judge a shitty politician?
Alan Arkin.
It's not like I voted for him.
Alan Arkin died. Cormac McCarthy died.
Alan Arkin I believe, was in Dunkirk.
May well have been. Sinead O'Connor died in July.
Yep, nothing compared to her.
Yeah, Tony Bennett. he's dead. God bless him. I liked him. Jane Birkin. Do you know who Jane Birkin was? Jane Birkin.
Yeah, Jane Birkin. Jane Birkin did that J'adore song with Serge Gainsbourg.
Yes.
Oh.
She was in Death on the Nile. Who was she in Death on the Nile? I watched that a couple of days ago.
J'adore. J'adore.
Who was she?
Do you know why I like the J'adore song so much?
Because it's about sex.
Well, I mean, it is a little bit, but no. Mostly because it's in the adverts, the Dior adverts that have Natalie Portman in. I quite like Natalie Portman. I find her to be a very appealing individual.
So I was basically right.
That's not because it's about sex. Sex is just a big part of it.
Is Jane Birkin the maid?
Oh, it's probably, because she's French, wasn't she? So.
Was she? She was.
How do you not know she was French?
Well, with a name like Jane Birkin. You know, I thought she'd be from...
What, Turkey?
Physic? I don't know. Like Donna Noble. Yes, like Donna Noble, Jordan.
I wasn't going to say anything about Donna Noble because I don't care about
George Alagaya died.
Yes, he did.
Poor George Alagaya. He was another side newsreader, wasn't he?
He was. No more, though.
Angus Cloud. You know Angus Cloud off Euphoria?
No, didn't watch it.
Fair enough, me neither.
Oh, we must be on, like, September by now.
August.
Oh, fuck
Michael
yeah.
Parkinson died. Parky. Mohammed Al Fayed, he popped his clogs. Sixto Rodriguez, do you know who that is?
No.
Singer-songwriter. Oh, the guy who played the chap in the wheelchair in Breaking Bad, he died.
Yes.
William Friedkin, director of The Exorcist, he died. Michael Gambon died.
He did.
In September. This is David McCallum.
Ah, David McCallum. He was in NCIS, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., The Great Escape.
Right, yeah. Mike Yarwood, who did impressions in the 70s.
Right when it was easy to do impressions because no one cared if they were really good.
Yes, it was easier, wasn't it? Back in the day. Diane Feinstein, who, you know, was senile for God knows how long.
Well, when you get old, you do, don't you?
Jimmy Buffett.
Margaritaville.
Yeah. October. God, that doesn't seem that long ago since we were talking about this. Matthew Perry died.
Yep.
Bobby Charlton, he died.
Yep. And they'll talk about a really recent death. The bloke from Parasite.
Yeah.
Did you watch that?
I haven't seen it, no.
No, I haven't. It won an Oscar, didn't it?
Oh, Hayden Gwynn. I like Hayden Gwynn. He was an actress, so he's got a very recognisable face. He was in an episode of Midsummer Murders, as every fucker was.
Right, Ben. This is a timing puzzle thing. I'd like to show you.
Okay.
So I'm taking apart part of the electrical system. Actually, no, I shouldn't do that yet. Oh, it's already been detached. Never mind. So I'm going to take apart some of the electrical system, but I need to do it whilst there are no lights on. And it gets harder to do because the lights move faster every time you take one out. And then I can take the generator apart. So take the generator out, and then I won't get electrocuted by anything. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Now.
You were a bit late. Well, that's worth 100. Sorry, it's worth 1.1 million. That generator. That thing right there is worth 1.1 million. I've just fired it into that.
Lovely.
Yeah.
What do you spend this money on?
Well, I mean, in the storyline, you're paying off your debt that you get by taking on the job of this really capitalist company.
Big.
And they charge you living costs, store rental, shit like that. So you can buy your tools off them so that you don't have to pay that part of it off anymore. You have to pay interest on all your debt as well. Starts off like $1 billion debt or something, or $1 trillion debt, and you're paying it off bit
Well, I suppose inflation, that's a lot, but it's not a literal billion, is it? Not.
But no, I'd actually. There's a point. Spoiler alert. There's a point in the game where you all the debt gets written off. No, sorry, not all the debt gets written off. A large chunk of debt gets written off, and as such, I had by that point already actually got it so the amount that got written off was was more than what I had to pay back.
What is that doggy poster say?
I don't know. It's gone.
It's something in there. It's like a dog version of the hang in there poster.
Probably is just hanging there.
Well, it's not hanging. Anyway,
Not anymore.
have you seen the Windsors?
No.
Do you play Camilla in that? She was in
Okay.
Crown as well. We're into November now, not much longer. Jane McGowan died in November, didn't he?
He did. Right near the end.
Harry Venables died.
Yep.
Alistair Darling died.
Mr. Eyebrows.
Yeah. Henry Kissinger finally dragged to hell.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like him, did they?
Dean Sullivan too. Rosalind Carter, of course, and Joss Ackland. This month, Benjamin Zephaniah.
Yep. Who had for a
Steve
while
Halley.
lived locally to here.
Yes, I sold him a book. During my work experience at our local bookshop, I sold him a book. And then, after he disappeared, I turned to the woman beside me and said, "Who was that?" She said, "Benjamin Zephaniah." I said, "Oh, who's Benjamin Zephaniah?" So,
I'm sure we learned about him at school, but, you know,
possibly.
learned a lot of things at school. I'm sure you've probably forgotten, so.
Steve Halliwell died. Yeah, and Lee Sun Coin.
I don't know,
Parasite
and
chap.
I'm assuming you've got it wrong as well.
Probably, he was the parasite chap, he died. Jacques Delors, the president of the European Commission, he died.
Now you're just naming people who died this week.
Yes.
Look, we've been talking about dead people for like 30 minutes, Ben.
Honey Boo Boo's sister,
We've been talking about dead people for about 30 minutes, Ben.
Norman Lear.
For the love of God, Ben, have you got nothing else not 2023 related to talk about? Or
Yes, I
can we
do.
move on?
I have
Let's
finished.
move on from the fucking dead people.
My 2023 year in review. How would you sum up this year? Was it good?
It was mediocre. Like,
Right.
in general, it was a mediocre year.
I
What?
thought it was, on the whole, fairly positive.
Okay.
You want to do a topic?
Well, I can do. I need to go through my list at some point and see what you've already ticked off. I shouldn't think there's much, but there'll be something. But sadly, I'm in the middle of trying to take this thing apart, so I'll have to bear with.
What do you want me to do one?
Well, if you want.
Okay,
That
well,
fucking time you fucking did 1 minute.
long-term listeners, of whom there are none, I've been having some heart pains recently.
Oh, you've finally been diagnosed with going to die.
No, on the contrary.
Ugh.
I got the results back from the hospital. We sent it to the doctors, and the letter I got seemed to be written by someone whose first language was not English. It didn't seem to have gone through a secretary. I think my consultant wrote it himself.
Okay.
Basically, it said that everything was checked, and there was no signs of anything.
No signs of anything. You don't even have a heart.
No, most perplexing.
I could have told you.
But everything was fine. So yeah, I've got the all clear. I'm inclined to believe at this point that it was just stress.
I would.
Yeah.
Oh, what's wrong one?
I tidied my room as well. I gave it a big clean. I got rid of so many books.
What, this year?
Today and yesterday. It took 2 days to go through. And I'm
Fucking
going to bring a load of stuff into town to see if I can sell it. A load of Yu-Gi-Oh cards and some stuff.
I helped my partner clean some of her bedroom yesterday.
Well, lovely.
Not a euphemism. Genuinely helped out.
I didn't think it was. It would be a pretty poor euphemism.
I went to visit after work. She had lost track of time and had been tidying her room. I was like, I can help. So I helped out. And there's some more stuff it needs doing, but it's really a 2-person job, so we're doing it tomorrow after I finish work again.
Well, that's good. You seem quite fond of her.
Oh, I am.
Right,
Why
that's
wouldn't I be?
helpful.
You shouldn't be in relationships with people you're not fond with.
That's a good question.
Like
good
that's
question.
good
Good point.
That's
No.
relationship 101. If you don't like the person, don't date them. That's why I don't date you,
that.
Ben.
Well, I think there's a number of reasons why.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to.
No.
Even though I'm a catch.
Well.
Oh shit! I didn't mean to do that. Boom.
No.
I am a
yeah,
catch, by the way.
it looks a lot tidier.
Yeah.
And I think I'm gonna have the old one in, one out rule when it comes to books from now on. There's quite a lot of books I'm probably never going to read, and it is important to clear house every once in a while.
I'm just going to start crossing some bits off my list quick. Carry on talking. But...
Always sad though getting rid of books.
Yeah, it's been a while since.
Somebody else might enjoy them far more than I would, and they go into a charity shop, so that's good.
It's been a while since I got rid of a book. It's been a while since I bought a book for me.
I love books.
I listen to audiobooks these days instead of reading.
They're old friends.
I recently removed some books from my bookshelf, if that counts.
I had a very lonely childhood.
Oh, I had a lonely childhood as well, but... Bye! Did you just watch what happened?
No, I was looking off into the distance.
Oh.
As I reminisced about my lonely childhood.
Okay, well, it seems I didn't quite fully depressurize something before I decided to detach it all, and so it decided it was just going to fly off into space. I've managed to capture some of it back. Thanks God for these tethers.
I think you have to upgrade to.
Well, in the main story, yeah, you don't get them to start off with. You get them. You get one or two, but you don't get a limited number like we've got here. Although you can only have so many at a time.
Right.
And you can use them to...
when you say you got a limited number in the actual story mode, does that mean you can only use them like once or twice?
No, I think it maxes out at 30, and then you can buy more from the company that you're paying off your debt.
Oh, I see.
Because capitalism.
Yeah, I hope we get rid of that at some point.
I mean, that'll all just go in where it needs to go, apart from that bit. Fine.
Well, I sort of think I should get through some more of my topics, because my game is pretty intensive, concentration-wise.
Oh, okay.
So, the finale of Ghosts, BBC sitcom, is on Christmas Day.
Didn't watch it.
Well, I was very much a fan of Ghosts. Do you know the plot of Ghosts?
I have seen some episodes of Ghosts. I didn't watch the Christmas one.
Well,
I haven't seen most.
For those of you that don't know, the general gist is this young couple move into a house because the girl, whose name I can't remember, her really, like an aunt she doesn't know, has died and has left her this big country estate. And they move into it. It turns out there are ghosts from various different periods of time,
including Caveman.
Yeah, they want to be left alone, so they try and push her out a window. She doesn't die, but she gets bumped in the head, which means she can see ghosts. And the basic plot is the young couple trying to make some money to keep them afloat with this massive fucking money pit they've inherited, while she sort of interacts with the ghosts and their daily doings,
including having a fire.
Yes, that was an episode. Probably the episode you saw,
No.
or just a very, very good guess.
No, I saw some of season 5, which I believe is when the insurance person turns up.
Yeah.
And they have April Fool's Day, and I've seen some bits from season. In fact, I've seen most of season 5, which is not overly helpful because season 5's, the last full season, I believe.
Yeah. Well, I really liked Ghosts.
It had a lot of horrible histories, people, didn't it?
Yes, it was one of their. I mean, they have a little. The horrible histories players. They have their core stable of actors.
Acting
writers. Yes. I didn't think Ghosts was necessarily piss your pants funny, but it had good heart. One of the things I really liked about it is that it wasn't afraid to dwell into the tragic aspects of things. Like the caveman ghost you mentioned. One of the things they frequently mention with him is the fact that he's been a ghost for like I don't know, 10,000 years, probably more than 10,000 years. And he's,
Fucking long time.
everybody he has loved has died or has moved on to the other side. And he's just knocking about.
Is Robin his name?
Yes. Got World War II captain.
Oh, I thought it was World War One.
No, I'm pretty sure it's World War II.
I mean, it could be. This is I've barely seen this show.
Who's gay, never came to terms with it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There's a scout leader who was accidentally killed by one of his own scouts.
That's why you don't do archery, kids.
Yeah, and there's an episode where there's a wedding at the hall, and one of the guests is the kid that shot him. It's like him struggling to forgive this child who has lived with the guilt of that moment, which is great. Yeah, you've got. I mean, there's a lot of tragedy involved in it, and they don't shy away from touching on that.
Well, it'd be hard for you to do it to properly do a TV show about ghosts.
I could see that. It would be very easy to make them stereotypes and just not discuss that stuff at all or dwell into it. But they've all got great little tragic backstories and interesting quirks and stuff. And one of the things I really appreciate is that a lot of their interactions are just them killing time. Just like having show and tell nights or game nights, just anything to stave off
ration pack.
An eternity of boredom. Yes. But the finale, yeah, it's rubbed a lot of people up the wrong way. Essentially, the finale, this couple have a baby. Most of the episode has the guy's mother sort of interfering, and she moves in for like 7 weeks.
As people do.
And eventually they get her to leave, and then the ghosts realise that they're, just as interfering, and that this young couple need to move away, and they do. And it bothers a lot of people because they didn't think it was in character. And did you fuck up?
A little bit. So I had fucked up, and then I deliberately fucked up. So that fairly neat mess of stuff that we had beforehand is now this, and I can't be asked to fix it. So I'm just going to clock out. It's someone else's problem now.
Okay. Well, yes, Ghost. I really liked it, but it has sort of bothered a lot of people. This ending. It's not the way I would have ended it, but I appreciate where they were coming from. I just think the pacing of it could have been better because it spent an awful lot of time with the mother-in-law. When really the entire episode should be about the ghosts realizing that the circumstances have changed and how they need to part ways. And, it is implied that this that the main character visits them every Christmas because they sell up the house to a place that's mentioned before that wants to turn into a country hotel.
Oh, okay. Oh, is that the place
nice.
where they've got the French people? And
what?
There's,
Yes. And she's allergic to something, isn't it?
Yeah,
and Robin speaks French because he had this weird little friendship with
the other blokes, missus.
I mean, you could definitely have gotten another series out of that kid growing up, and maybe she can see ghosts too. The way I thought it would end, well, I say thought it would end, but the way I would have ended it is that they both grow old and die, and they become ghosts. But it also occurred to me that maybe the guy could die.
Have you got much more to do on this? Because I there's no point
just wrapping it up.
Okay, just because it wasn't sure how much you had. I wanted to just.
It also occurred to me that the guy could die and then he could become a ghost, and that would be really, really tragic.
Kyle Smith, or whatever his name is.
I don't know. I'm done now. I liked Ghosts. I will miss it. It was very warm and soft.
I'll give it 5 years and that'll be another special. I blew the thing up. We can see here.
That was silly.
We can see here the stats. So I salvaged nearly 60% of it and blew up
right.
about 32% of it.
You still get paid. You don't get penalised for.
Well, I don't get the money that I could have got. So that's 12.5 mil I can't have. So I've been paid the 23 mil for this, or if it was a story mode, but it's not, so it doesn't matter. I don't gain anything. It's just a free play situation. So yeah. All in all, Not a great job, but I
Yeah.
I helped it along at the end.
You did your best, and that's all that counts.
Oh, I've managed to get like 98% on one of them ships before.
Mm.
But there's no point me starting another one, you see.
All right.
Because
2 videos less than an hour. I better make mine.
well, this is
2.5
just over
hours
an hour.
So.
So
Well, we're calling it.
I think so.
Well, thank you for joining us. This has been the first video I haven't looked away from. The duration. I will. Yeah, I like watching you do this.
Yeah, well, if you want, I will do some more ships. We could probably get 2 of the smaller ones in a single video. If we
well,
tried.
why not?
So it wouldn't be 13 videos, but we could probably make it down to 10.
So, yeah, what would it be New Year's Eve when this video is released? Do you have a nice New Year's message?
Sorry, I had a quick New Year's topic.
Oh, right, okay.
Very quick. What do you reckon the 2024 version of Netflix and Chill is going to be?
Piracy and fisting.
Lovely. I actually wrote something, and mine was pegging and kaplunk.
Right.
Because I did the final written piece of the year, which is the 1974 number ones, and I can't remember what the topic was, what the song was, but it felt appropriate to mention Netflix and Chill, and because it's going out on the 31st, it seemed appropriate to suggest there was a 2024 version. So, pegging and
well, maybe in the next video, no, not the next one, obviously, but the one after my one, we can do predictions for the new year in general, maybe.
Maybe.
We'll have to see. I don't know. We haven't decided yet. But we'll see you in the far-flung future of 2024.
It's like a few days away. It's tomorrow, as far as this video is concerned.
Yes, well, bye.
Fuck off. Not you, them.